All right, what's going on, guys? Today we got a Massimo T Boss 550. We're gonna do a review of it. It's about 1 year old. I'm gonna show you what's gone out, some of the features are of this thing, and what stuff you're gonna have to change later on if you buy one. Now, this thing came from Atwood about last year, and the customers complained about problems from this and that, little things here and there that has malfunctioned and caused problems. So we're gonna do a walk around. I'm gonna show you what type of engine this thing's actually running, because some people say, oh, it's a clone of a Honda. Some people say it's a Yamaha. I'm gonna show you what it is. All right, if you look right here, if anybody's ever had a Suzuki Quadmaster 500, about a 99 model, or an Articat 500, y'all have seen this top end before in this style engine. That's basically a Suzuki Quad engine. It's a clone of it. This automatic. They also made a standard model in the Suzukis and the Articats, and they made one that's called a 454. I'm pretty sure that's the exact same top end and engine they was running in the Articat 454 and the Suzuki Quad. But this one's made by Linhai. It's a Chinese off-brand that basically bought the rights to the motor and copies it. CF Moto makes them, and there's a lot of discussion here and there. People say, oh, it's running Yamaha engine, oh, it's running a Honda engine. It's basically a copy of a Suzuki engine. So if you got a Suzuki, parts may interchange. I don't know what brand the fuel injection system is on this it's running. It's basically off-brand. These are pretty good machines, but I'm just gonna go around it and show you a couple more things that went out, like the throttle cable. The reason it's here at the shop is because we had to replace the throttle cable. That failed. The coolant temp switch for the fan failed a couple weeks ago. He had to get one of them put on, and there was a bearing in the belt cover for the transmission jack shaft has been replaced 3 times, and the last time we ended up putting in an American bearing that was matched to that size, and after that he never had a problem after that out of that bearing again. But if you look under the seat here, this thing's pretty simple to work on if you got to work on it. Right here is you remember these from your Suzukis or your Articats. It's basically Articat Suzuki air box. They use them in the Suzuki Igers. And over here you got a metal fuel tank with a in-tank electric fuel pump for the fuel injection. And right here beside it is your fuel filter, inline filter. And it tees into the return line, something like that. I've never seen many done like that, but I guess there's some kind of pressure valve in there. But over here, if you look right at this exhaust coming out of the belt cover, you can see that this boot right here is completely dry rotted and cracked, and this thing has basically got 1 year of service, and that is bad. I guess it was pretty old when they put it on there. But other than that, you got basically the same display off of the four-wheeler. They just mounted in the dash in here. The old school Yamaha looking four-wheel drive front differential is what they're running. This is the buttons off of a Yamaha. And we'll hop in this thing and take it for a ride and show y'all what it sounds like and runs like after 1 year of use. And I'll tell you how many hours is on it. You do have to mash the brake even though it's in neutral to start it. The thing only has 696 miles on it. 696 miles. And like I said, it's an older man owns this thing, so it ain't been, you know, rotted in mud holes or nothing like that. But it's just the little things that are going out. It's making it look bad. Alright, we'll take her for a ride and show you what kind of power it's got. And right here's the display. And it does have a coolant gauge, gas gauge. And basically, this is your RPMs, and the mile per hour is in the actual digital screen. But we'll see what it'll do. This gear shift just feels real weird. He actually wanted us to adjust this, but there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's just slack all in it. You can't do nothing about the bushings before. Squeaking in the back here, like the shock bushings and stuff. Let's see what kind of power she got. gets the job done. If you know, around the farm, that's what he uses it for, around the farm. But this thing does have some kind of reverse beeper, but other than that, you got diff lock, four-wheel drive, winch here. Oh wait, this is diff lock for the rear end. Over here is four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and front differential lock. So it is a little hard to steer. It don't have power steering. Hot with that windshield up. It's pretty smooth of a ride. Ain't no speed. Neutral sensor has some issues there, but other than that, they give you like 2 power or USB and the cigarette lighter for plugging in your phone. It looked like them are down here, but they actually had places for them to go up here. I guess they just put them down there instead. But right here is the brand of the engine. It says I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says Lin-High on there. And right here is that four-wheel drive, or two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Then you flip that, and that locks the front end together. And then over here, like I said, it locks the rear end, rear diff, and unlocks it for positive track or limited slip in the back. Steering wheel is adjustable. It's got a shock under here, just like most of your Polaris Razors and Rangers, but it seems to be pretty hard to move by hand. Yeah, I think it's about froze up. Yeah, that sucker's froze up. Oh no, you had to lift up on it. It's real hard to move though. Parking brakes over here. And here was one of them. That's the sensor it screwed in the motor. They had to change because it had problems showing on the gauges that it was overheating, and they didn't think it was. They said it was a recall on the temperature switches, which I don't know if it was that or a water leak, but they changed the fan switch, and that one apparently got the overheat issue fixed. But you know, that ain't good on a machine that's only got 600 miles on it to start overheating. But like I said, we'll show y'all a walk around. The thing did come with mirrors, and this, yeah, it's got turn signals and all that, because some states, I believe, they are street legal, but it does have the turn signals down there on the bumper. It came stock with a winch and the windshield, so that mirror done got broke off. But yeah, T Boss 550. Right there's the gas cap. And they don't give much room on these shocks. You see, there's no load in it, and there's only 1 inch of travel for that shock to actually move. And other than that, but basically a lot of the parts on these aftermarket rigs are from all different kinds of four-wheelers. Like that may be a Yamaha or a Polaris rear differential, or a clone of it, or it could be the Suzuki one. And that's a problem with these. After 2 or 3 years of owning the rig, they're changing parts constantly because they're buying them from the cheapest places they can get the off the wall, off the shelf parts. And parts change so much that it's hard to find parts for these things if you're not like a dealer. You don't go back and buy them from the actual name brand, and it's hard still to get them through them because they change parts so much on different machines. But where I think this is right now the lead running one of the cheapest side-by-sides on the market. I think this thing came in at about, I want to say, they were saying like 9,000 at the max, and you could find them in some places even as low as 7,700. Places was selling them. Now they do make a range of these. This one, like I said, was from Atwood's. They have some from, there's like actual dealers that sell these around the Dallas, Texas area, because I went and looked down there. They actually had 250 models, and you could get them loaded out with back seats and everything. But Atwood's charges a little more for the ones they sell, but they stand behind the product, you know, for a good bit. Like, so they've done all the warranty work to this thing, that anything needed done, they covered it, but they gave him a hard time doing it. But other than that, it's been a good machine. But you know, it's always the little stuff that like the wiring, it's going to be cheaper. You don't want to leave it in the sun. If you parked it in your garage at your house, it's probably going to last a lot longer, the color and the stickers and stuff, because this one's set out in the sun the whole year. It's actually been outside the store. But you see like that sticker right there where the sun had been shining on it, done turned it black. And you can tell the camo is starting to just fade off the thing, and all the black plastic will turn like chalky flat black or something like that after time. But it came with these that's for going in rocks, rock guards, stump guards, keep from tearing the floorboard off. And it came with the nets that buckle in right there to keep you from falling out, and some, you know, alloy aluminum rims. I don't know how good the rims are. They look real thin, but for those stock tires, they ought to do just fine. And I'm pretty sure this thing's got every California emission system you've ever heard of built in the exhaust and the fuel injection system, because they pretty much build these things. They want them to meet California emission standards if you can still get ATVs in California. But other than that, you know, little things like wiring. Wiring's usually a big thing on these. They use real cheap wiring parts, and they get wet and then they start having trouble. But overall, they're good machines as long as you know how to work on them, because you're probably going to have to work on them. But you know, you get what you pay for. You know, Honda's probably like $12,000. This, you know, a good range of $8,000 for a side-by-side. But like I said, this one is used on farm, chicken houses, getting around, and it's still holding up. But like I said, that ain't very many miles for the problems he's had out of this machine. Which y'all see my past video, I did a review of the brand new Hyson 250 four-wheeler here, and it uses a lot of the same parts as the Massimo does, except for the Hyson makes their engines. Now Massimo orders their engines, like they get them from the best engine dealer, you know. And I'm pretty sure these people design their own engines, which this is made in Vietnam. I think that's made, the Massimo's made in Texas, of the United States, but a lot of the parts get mass ordered from like China or Taiwan or whatever. But yeah, this thing's held up good over the time. My temperature sensor, probably the same one as in that Massimo, has failed on this one. And it, even when the foiler's cold, it shows that it's already fully overheated before I ever even start the engine. So I'm guessing that's a common problem with them aftermarket, wherever they're ordering their temperature sensors for the heat gauge, are messing up on a lot of them. So anybody that's got one of these or got one of them four-wheelers or any Hyson or Massimo products, and you're having It's saying it's overheating, but you can tell it's not hot. It's most likely the temp sensor that's screwed in the head of the engine, because the one that's screwed in the radiator is the thermal switch that turns the electric fan on and off. Now the one that's screwed in the motor is the one that runs the gauge.